The time lag P&L statement is the only real-life financial view of your business. Understanding it can drive strategy and solve many, many problems in running your practice on a day-to-day basis.
This is The Rare Advisor, proud to be a part of the Advisor Advancement Network and home of a business model supercharged by recurring and repeatable events. Your host is Mike Walters, CEO of USA Financial. He is an investment advisor representative of and securities are offered through USA Financial Securities, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, welcome back to The Rare Advisor. Today we're tackling number 3 out of 5 of the 5 advisor secrets that matter most right now. When I say right now, I'm talking about the changes that have occurred in the last 18 to 24 months. The fact that the world has been turned upside down with a pandemic, that we have remote work environments. We're communicating with clients the way I'm communicating with you right now in ways that we have never done historically. Generally speaking, we're a face-to-face environment in terms of the financial services industry. When you're onboarding clients, you're probably bringing them into your office. You're going through an appointment series with them. When you're out there in the marketplace identifying new prospects, you're getting live introductions to people. You're having people attend live events, and you're speaking and holding live client appreciation venues and all these other things. A lot of that stuff has changed. A lot of it clamped down. Many people have been riding out the storm and are starting to realize right now they have to get back on their horse and they got to get back on it fast. And the reason I say that is because many financial advisors have learned the hard way that clients have been waiting on hold during the pandemic, have been frustrated with the level of service they've gotten from certain advisors, so they're now out shopping for new ones. The live events that are coming back online with us right now across the country, depending on your geography and if that's conducive for you yet, those live events are very well attended and the appointment ratios are very, very high. We're actually seeing higher numerics today than we did prior to the pandemic. It's because there's pent-up demand, and it's because many advisors didn't do their job very well during the pandemic. They weren't accessible. They weren't running Zoom calls. They weren't having Zoom events. They weren't getting in front of people digitally or otherwise, and now they're paying the price. But that is your opportunity to get things rolling again in your practice. So the third item I want to talk about in this little mini series is called the time lag P&L. We have a little visual of this, the time lag P&L. The general concept is that your P&L statement is always illustrated to you by your accountant or whatever as a vertical document. Revenue comes in, expenses go out. Here's my EBITDA or my net profit at the end of the period, month, quarter, annual, whatever it might be. I will argue that your P&L statement is anything but vertical. Remember, it's a snapshot in time, as is your balance sheet, but I'm focusing on the P&L for now. There's snapshots in time, but the revenue that's coming in this month has little or nothing to do with the expenses going out this month. So in other words, the expenses that are happening here in January are going to drive revenue in February, March, or April. They are not going to drive revenue in January. Here's the litmus test. Anytime you use the word expense, you should be able to take that word away and insert the word investment. If your expense is not an investment in the future revenue of your firm, then you should not have it as an expense. It's that simple. Expenses are investments in the future revenue of your firm. So when you're running, let's say an event, because it's a great, easy example and so many people do them. If you're running an event, a seminar, you're running it, let's just say, for this little pictorial, in January. So my expenses for that event are in January. I'm not going to onboard a new client, go through the appointment process, transfer over their assets, get those placed and issued, and then get paid all in the month of January. So my expense for my event might be in January. I dropped mail. I had to pay for a room. I had to pay for food. I had to do whatever else was going on. If it was entertainment or whatever else that you had happening, all those expenses are coming in, let's say in January. I'm probably not going to be able to look back through and identify, was that money well spent or not, until March or April. I'm probably looking at least 2 to 3 months, maybe longer, depending on your appointment process and how your whole system works. But I need to be able to look at these expenses and figure out that revenue down the road. And I need to understand that there is a time delay. And I need to know what that time delay is so I know when to spot check it. So in the rearview mirror, when you're tracking in your database, make sure that you identify how you got introduced to these people so you can worm that back to the expense that correlates to it into how you got in front of them. That is ultra important, because as you're coming out of these pandemic days and you're starting to get your machine up and running again inside of your practice, you need to make sure you understand there is a time lag P&L that's taking place. Spend that money wisely, have it be an investment towards your future, and make sure you track it accordingly. That's called the time lag P&L.
This information is for licensed financial professionals only and is not intended for use in soliciting sales from the public. The views expressed represent the opinions of the presenter or their featured guest, not necessarily those of USA Financial or its affiliated subsidiaries. Industry references are generic and not intended to represent actions or beliefs of any individual or entity. Content is only presented to illustrate general principles, beliefs, or ideas and should not be construed as legal or regulatory advice. Trademark and copyright protected. USA Financial and Affiliates.